Welcome subjects, this is Mir Laboratories and I'm playing Kerbal Space Program. I'm just going to quickly create a new world. I'm going to call it Mir Labs. Yep, Mir Labs most definitely. And quickly select a flag. Obviously you can't see the flag here. You don't get to see the flag till later. So forget what you've just seen here. Okay, first things first. We have to do some science. Oh yeah, it's automatically unlocked. Don't get much really now, do we? But science anyway. Okay, so let's quickly build ourselves a ship. Just gotta quickly have a command pod first. This is where our little Kerbal will sit. And fuel. We need fuel, plenty of fuel, lots of fuel, more fuel than that. And that should be able to get us places, maybe. Parachute. Gotta make sure he comes back. And if he doesn't come back, we don't get science. I like science. Need an engine to use fuel. No point having fuel if we don't have something to use the fuel. And a solid burner, just to start us off with four more solid burners. Place them up a bit, maybe down, up. No, that could get caught and cause problems. Whatever. We'll just stick it about there. That'll do. And that should get us places. Should be more than enough thrust to weight ratio to get us somewhere, so we can do something. Okay. Just put these solid burners into a separate stage. Don't want them firing at the same time. And then the engine into a different stage, because we don't want the parachute firing at the same time. The parachute lasts to bring him home safely. Okay, and let's quickly name it. Name unlikely spacecraft, because it is unlikely to go anywhere. So we are on the launch pad now, and our craft has just experienced its first bit of physics, which is, can it stand underneath its own weight? Answer, yes. Luckily for us. So we've got Jebediah in the command seat, looking quite joyful as usual. And we'll see if this thing can go anywhere in a bit. First of all, we'll do a bit of science. Jebediah, please do some science for us. How we do science is we just kind of monitor our surroundings, write it down. Yep. 3, 2, 1, lift off. Okay, hopefully this will stay straight, which it seems to be doing just fine. Those engines are glowing red. That overheat's going up too fast. Stop it. No, god dang it. Okay, so that wasn't planned, but it happened nevertheless. This one should be enough to do something. At least we'll go up. Let's burn that off. Yay. Okay, so this is how you stage before you have decouplers. Everything seems to be going fine, except for the fact everything's gone wrong so far. Okay, this might get us to orbit. We'll just angle over anyway. Maybe we can get to orbit. I doubt it. Look at the fuel. It is tiny craft, but it gets us our first bit of science, which is good. Thinking of speed of craft, that speed's getting kind of high. Yeah, okay, we should check our apoapsis. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, okay, we've definitely got enough heights. We're going to get into space at least. Good. So we can get some science done. Just set ourselves some maneuver node. Maybe we can get in orbit. Maybe. Let's have a look at that. That should be high enough. As long as it's out of the atmosphere, we don't need anything else. Okay, while we're still in the atmosphere though, let's quickly do some science before we leave and end up in space. Keep that data. Okay. Our maneuver node's gone. Oh right, yeah, we got out with Jebediah. Yeah, that loses the maneuver node. Let's just quickly do that again. I don't know if we've got enough fuel to create an orbit, but hey, who knows? It might work. Just make sure that apoapsis on the maneuver node's out of the atmos again. Okay, and we've left the atmos now. We're now in space. I like space. Space is fun. Actually, while we're waiting to get to the apoapsis, we could do a bit more science, really, because it's going to be a while. I don't know why I didn't think about fast forwarding. Anyway, let's do science. Yeah, let's get it while we're over the water and in space, and then get it while we're over the land later. And oh yeah, the maneuver node, right. So yeah, I did that mistake twice in a row. Clever of me. Who needs maneuver nodes? I've been doing this since before maneuver nodes were even born. True story. Okay, this isn't making much a difference that I had hoped. We might be able to make it to land at least. If we can make it to land, we can do some more science. More science is good. Don't think it's going to make it to orbit. Okay, so I'm used to coming in from a shallow angle. That might make it to land, although if it was from a shallow angle, I know I'd definitely end up in Kerbin's waters. So let's see what happens. Just get a bit more science while we're up here. Every little bit helps with unlocking things later. And let's roll. Literally, look, rolling over. Like a wheel coming down from space. Okay, so we'll just fast forward past the apoapsis. We should maybe end up in land, maybe water. Can't really tell at the moment. When I get closer, I'll be able to tell the difference. Okay, so let's just try and line this up. If I point at the direction we're kind of going-ish, kind of, this is a bit too steep. Let's just shallow it, point directly retrograde. So we're kind of travelling along that line. We might hit land there, I think. Just hit that bit of land that's sticking out. It's looking hopeful for the science. Okay, just kind of line it up. Oh, okay, we're missing that bit of land. Never mind. Never mind. I was hoping to hit that bit there, but never mind. We can still do science in water, just not as much as on land, really. Because we've already done stuff flying over the waters, so oh well. Where's the re-entry effects? It should be happening soon. There we go. Burning up. Okay, we are going to hit land. Never mind. I didn't think we were. Just get more science while we're burning up over the shores. Coming down. If anyone can land this craft, it's Jebediah. Sure, he can land it. Maybe. Kind of. And parachute. Slow us down, slow us down, slow us down. Slow us down, slow us down, please. Yep, we should be okay. Just gotta wait for the parachute to pop. As we're over land, I don't know what the height of the land is, which means I don't know what altitude the parachute will pop, and I don't want to be fast forwarding when the parachute pops, because it'll rip apart or something across those lines and it'll be bad. And I'd like to keep the craft intact for all the science that's on board. So, as long as I don't fast forward until after the parachute's popped, we should be fine. Should be hopefully popping open soon. Ground's looking mighty close. Please open. Please open. Please open. Ah, thank you. Thank you so much. Right, now we can fast forward. Just fast forward it down to the floor. And we'll see if this can actually land at the speed it's at. Okay, so about 10 meters a second. And okay, so 10 meters a second was too fast to land on the engine. But at least the ship's rolled over onto its side, so we can hop out and do some science. Just roll it around a little bit first. And Jebediah! And he falls out. Let's just get surface samples and such. There we go. And if we can right click the capsule, we should be able to store them. Yay! Now, I'm sure I saw something odd over here. Let's go have a quick look. It doesn't look like it's there anymore. Oh wait, if I angle the camera, it's grass. Just grass from a strange angle. Never mind. Can we sample the grass though? Maybe we can sample the grass. Bring back a blade. No, never mind. Let's bring back multiple samples. We may have to push the ship over a little bit more. I don't know if Jebediah can reach the hatch. If we just push it, it'll be fine. And a push. There we go. That should be perfect. Get in, Jebediah. Get in, players. Okay, let's probably do more science. No? That's okay. So what's going on? It's not storing the samples. Okay, because they're repeat samples, that's why it's not storing them. It makes sense. However, we can do a bit of science here. It's a bit of a cheat. Counts as flying for some reason, because we're just not touching the floor, but yeah. Okay. Cover. And we've got science. Let's go use that science in the science labs for parts. Okay, so we need the decoupler, and we definitely need that little engine. We're not going to go anywhere without that little engine and the decouplers. So we don't have enough science to buy anything else. We've got the main two things I need. That ought to do. So let's go to the VAB and design our next ship. Start by getting rid of everything. Yeah, let's just get rid of everything, because we've got new engines and such, haven't we? So let's stick the LV909, is it the LV909? Whatever. And a decoupler. Science, we need the goo canisters. Kind of angle these so they're not over the command hatch. That'll do. Right, so a quick look through. More fuel for our lift-off stage. Make it nice and long so it's got plenty of fuel for the main engine. That ought to get us somewhere, I hope. Needs some fins to keep it straight so it doesn't wobble too much. That should do just nicely. We should definitely get somewhere from that. And side decouplers, stick them about there, and stick on some solid fuel boosters. Thank you. I don't know. It should get to orbit, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, to be honest. Yeah. Let's just add more stuff on there. Let's get rid of those. Move them up. No, I didn't want to take that off. Duplicate, there we go. Move those up and stick these on again. Yeah, we should definitely get to orbit with this now. It may flex a bit. Get rid of all these winglets though first, because that's going to just cause explosions. Can't even select this one. There we go. Okay, so it may flex a bit, but it'll be fine. It shouldn't destroy anything, I don't think. We really need struts. Let's just stick some more decouplers on. No, I said stick decouplers on. There we go. Some solid fuel boosters on that. There, that'll definitely get us to orbit. Obviously, can't go anywhere without these. These are very important. Robaz has taught me. Let's just stick some parachutes on the side. There we go. Radial parachutes, that's definitely coming back intact. If that blows the engine when it lands, I'll be shocked. Okay, so everything's in order. It's all looking good. We should definitely get somewhere. Get plenty of science from the goo canisters. Just name this a more likely spacecraft, as it is more likely to become a spacecraft. Okay, so we're on the launch pad now. Just count down. Oh, I never did the staging. Yeah, I forgot the staging while we were in the VAB, and I had to do it on the launch pad, but never mind. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so we want that to be last. parachutes separate to the engine. Yep, that's all cool. SAS, of course, can't go straight without it. There we go. And yep, there's the flex that I was on about. There's the rotating as well. As you can see, I'm really struggling to control this. It's plenty of power and nowhere near enough control to keep it in a straight line. It needs struts to stop the flex, and it needs some kind of wing surface that has ailerons on it to be able to control this. And that's rid of the solid fuel boosters. As you can see, I purposely made sure the middle stack didn't fire. That way we could save the fuel until we're up a bit higher, and that should get us most definitely to orbit. This is working just fine. It's going fine. Plenty of fuel. Let's keep going up until we get out of the thick atmos. Jebediah is quite enjoying it. And start leaning over. Yeah, we've got plenty of fuel. We should definitely be able to get to orbit with this. Just lean over more. Said lean over more. Trying to keep it under control as well so it doesn't lean over too fast, because if it leans over too fast I'll have trouble bringing it back, which would be bad. My usual large ships, I normally don't lean over to the 45 degrees until we're at about 20,000, and then I lean right over, just right down to the horizon once we get to about 30,000. So everything's just going according to plan-ish. Should be staging soon. Oh god, it's gone below the horizon. No, come back up. And it's stage time. Oh god, no. I double staged. No. This isn't good. That means I have no control over the rear segment of this ship at the moment. Oh dear. So we are now just a little pod on the end of a ballistic missile, hoping this ballistic missile will not destroy us. Sort of just balancing there, as you can see. Yeah, I've got little control. I'm trying to use the command pods, slight adjustments on the command pod to keep us on target. But once we've reached orbital velocity, we're just gonna have to wait for the fuel of the ballistic missile that's pushing us to run out. Might as well do a bit of science while we're waiting. And it's going okay. As okay as something that's gone wrong can go, really. Yeah, I'm just at this point I'm just struggling to keep the thing under control. Really struggling. As you can see, the electric's going down quite a lot. At the time I wasn't paying attention to the electric. And there's the camera angle change. Once that camera angle swoops around like that, that means you're in orbit. Not a stable one though. The apoapsis or periapsis could be below the points where it's interacting with the atmosphere if you go around to the other side of your orbit. But still got plenty of fuel to burn off on this clearly because it's still going. God, thank God, it's burnt out now. So let's just see what we've. Oh, good lord! Yeah, that had lots of fuel in it. It really has pushed out our apoapsis. Our periapsis is still below Kerbin's atmos. Let's just start up the engine. We'll try fixing the orbit in a bit. Let's just first get some science and such while we're here. Like goo container, go. Keep it. Jebediah, get out and let go. Okay, as you can see, we're going to float across the water. Once we get over the shores, we're going to do an experiment. Once we get over the grassland, we're going to do an experiment. Just got to wait for the correct time, because you get different datas for each biome. So you can do repeat experiments over the same planet as long as you're over the different biomes. Just got to right click and store each time. Just keep that. store it. Okay, Jebediah can get back in now. Now, let's do an orbital maneuver to bring that down and bring up to the periapsis. And it's not really supposed to be done unless you're about halfway across between your periapsis and your apoapsis, but let's just do it here. Okay, let's have a look what's happening. Yeah, that's coming up. This is coming down. Excellent. Oh, hold on. Flyby of the moon. Get some extra science. Yeah, I think so. I think we'll do that. We'll keep it about there. Let's just alter the... There we go. We don't want to crash into the moon now, do we? However, we are going to be flung away from Kerbal afterwards. If we spin it round, we should be able to use the moon's gravity to slow us down so we can come back to Kerbal after our flyby. There we go. Just turning round. And here comes... It's coming down. Okay, so now we're going to crash into Kerbal. I'd rather keep in orbit if I can. So if I spin this round again and burn, I should be able to get it so I don't crash into the moon and don't crash into Kerbal. If I can get that just right, there we go. So I can do a flyby of the moon, come back to Kerbal and go into an orbit. That should be perfect. And that should get us also plenty of science, which is the main reason we're out here, of course. Of course, this thing does have a lot of fuel. Could consider going a little bit crazy. Are you crazy enough, Jebediah? I think you're crazy enough. We're going to try landing on the moon without landing legs. Definitely. It's possible, I think. Got plenty of fuel if you do a suicide burn correct. I'm no good at suicide burns. I may have to do a different type of burn, and I should be able to still land and come back. I think. I'm sure it'll work. It's got to come around and get into the moon's sphere of influence. I don't know. Minmus might be an easier target for this. No, I've already decided. We're going to the moon now. Okay, so just about to come into the moon's influence. I have found if you don't slow down time warp as you change from one sphere of influence to the other, it can change your trajectory now and again, which is really awkward and a waste of fuel after setting it up just right from so far away. Okay, so now we're in the moon's sphere of influence, or MUN. We can do some more science. Plenty more to bring back. Just store the experiments. Do a crew report. Why not? Might overwrite that after we've landed. Might get more from it on the surface. Okay, so I think we can do this. Maybe a more skilled Kerbanaut could do this than me. I don't know if I'm skilled enough. Oh god, the electricity's low. That could be problematic. Screw it, we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We'll be fine. Let's just start positioning where our periapsis is going to be. Okay, I've just cut out a section there where it was just staring at something. I must have been talking on the recording and I can't remember what I was talking about, otherwise I'd try and repeat it, obviously. So we're coming down. We should try and land in a crater, really, because it'll be more chance of being flat. And we need flat to land on our engine, so we sure as hell are not going to land on an angled surface without landing legs. So let's just spin this round, and we have to be very careful as we come down as to when we burn, because otherwise we'll waste a lot of fuel. So we need to decide what height we're going to burn our engine at. So I'm thinking maybe about 10,000 should be about the point to burn. But yet again, we are coming in with a lot of speed and we're going straight from orbit to landing. Maybe 15,000. Yeah, 15,000. I think we'll go for 15,000. To bring this down to the point where we're going to start burning our engine. Oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. Going to bring it down around this area. We need flat land. We absolutely need flat land for this to work. We can't have time bobbling around trying to land it, find a flat land to land on. We need to come straight down on flat land. Okay, burning our engine. As you can see, we've just achieved orbit as the camera has changed. Bring down that speed. Oh, that flat land there would be nice. And the camera angle has changed again. Stop it. No, so the second camera angle change means we are coming down for a landing. So kill that sideways velocity. Don't want to go sideways, we want to come down. This is using quite a bit of fuel. Come on, slow down. Got to keep an eye on multiple things at this stage. Got to keep your eye on how fast you're going down towards the ground and your horizontal velocity, because you can't come down sideways, especially while landing on an engine, because you will just topple straight over and you won't be able to launch off again. Landing legs, however, you might be able to do a bit of sideways landing, but you still would rather avoid it. Okay, looks like we're heading towards that crater a bit. Okay, maybe not if we're coming down a bit sooner than that. As long as we don't land on the edge there, we don't want to land on the edge of the crater, because it's obviously going to be sloped. Yeah, we're going straight to the edge, we need to burn more. We do not want to land on the edge of the crater. Let's just throttle up the engine. Slow ourselves down a bit more. We need this flat land here, just below us. That would do just perfect. Coming straight down. Okay, so this just might work. Just might work. We're about half fuel, I think. Yeah. Don't know if this is going to work. Let's hope so. Okay, so that's our landing site. We have decided now. This is where we are going to land. We're burning to slow ourselves down. Coming down, coming down. At this point I'm really concentrating on the video and I actually go quite silent, but we should be able to come down nicely, I hope. Got to get this below quite a slow speed when we touch down, otherwise we'll break the engine. We'll break the engine, there's no coming back for Jebediah. So as you can see, I am panicking quite a bit here, thinking, is the speed slow enough? Am I wasting too much fuel? Should I be waiting till later to do this? And then I see the floor coming up and I see my shadow and I'm like, oh dear lord, okay, burn more, burn more. Here's where it gets really tense. Oh, touchdown! Yes, we've landed on our engine and not destroyed it. This is a great day for Kerbal science. Let's get Jebediah out and we'll do some science on the surface of the moon. Okay, just waddle over here. There's nowhere else really to go. Well done, Jebediah. How do you feel? You're a crazy Kerbal who didn't mean to come to the moon, just meant to go to orbit, and now you're on the moon. If anyone could do it, it's Jebediah. Look at him there. So happy. Screenshot. I'm actually pressing F12 at this point quite a few times, and I don't know what it did, but it did something, and then it took a screenshot instead. Okay, so let's take surface samples and DVA reports, and of course, plant a flag. Boop. Now it's Jebediah's. This is Jebediah's moon. Let's just name the flag. Unintentional moon landing. Unintentional moon landing. Yes, my English is terrible. So if I've spelt anything wrong and I've offended you, I am sorry. I didn't mean to. So we didn't mean to end up here, but while we're here, science! Let's do some science. Okay, so that's our mun flag. Let's just get back in the capsule, and then we need to start figuring out how we're going to get Jebediah home. Oh, I'm in a bit of troubles here with the RCS pack. Come on, get back in that capsule. Oh, good lord. I realise after a while I'm pressing the wrong button to get into the capsule, thanks to other games. Okay, so let's just get to the crew report that I wanted, and I forget the goo tank. I'm not quite happy about that. Obviously I have to figure out which direction I'm going to burn, so I can slow myself down to come into Kerbal. Kind of burn that direction-ish. That should get us home. Should. Okay, so trying to find 90 on the nav ball before I start off. So check the fuel. Start guessing myself at this point, but we've got to get him off the surface. He's got no way of refueling the vessel. You see I lean right over, start going towards the direction I think is the direction I was pointing to when I was on the map. And it seems alright. And then I check my fuel and realise how little we've made. How little distance we've made with so much fuel. That's not a good sign. So I changed the plan. Instead of going straight for a burn home, which could end up with us just crashing into the mun if we don't have enough fuel, I decide let's get into orbit around the moon. So if anything, at least we're in orbit and we can do something to try and save him later. So I get to the apoapsis, aim prograde, and start burning. Should be enough to get us into orbit, hopefully. See, it's working. The velocity change is enough to make quite a difference to our orbital trajectory. And there we go, we're in orbit around the mun. That should be fine. So now we can start thinking, do we have enough to get him home? Poor Jebediah, orbiting the mun at the moment with a worry. That's when I realised I forgot about the goose canister, so I quickly use it while we're in orbit around the mun. And there's his home. Don't know if he has enough to get back. I'm actually really worried at this stage. Okay, so start fast forwarding round. I need to get around to the correct point to do the burn. It's kind of trying to point out where I need to do it, but swinging my mouse around, so you're not going to be able to figure out from my swinging of the mouse what I'm pointing at really. But I know what stage I need to burn at. Fortunately, you can't fast forward too fast. It should be like you're in an orbit. You're clearly not going to crash into anything. You can fast forward as fast as you want, but no, you can only fast forward so fast. Okay, so we're at the point about here. That's about where we need to start burning. It's got to spin the ship round. We're looking the wrong way. And I tell it to spin the wrong way. But I decide to wait instead, rather than fighting it and using up more electricity. Because our electricity is so low, I decide to wait for it just to naturally spin around to the correct direction and savour what little electricity he has left. Because the LV909 doesn't recharge the electricity, which is a bit of a downer on the engine. Got all its perks, and then it's got that down part, which is a bit sucky. But maybe we can bring this thing back. And let's lock it in with the SAS and throttle up. So, the moment of truth. Can Jebediah come home from this? No. We're out of fuel. He can't come back. He's stuck in orbit around the moon. We're going to have to rescue him. Oh dear. Maybe I can get something up to push him. Just push him and fling him into an orbit that he'll return from. That's our only hope, really. Well, while we're here, we might as well get more science. Spin the capsule around, make it a bit easier so I can see. Okay, just need to wait until we're over that crater, which is coming up as well, and we can store more science. Because also the moon has different biomes as well. It's got big crater, little crater, medium crater. But yeah, they count as different places, so you can get extra science from them, just to help you along as a starting stages with gathering some science and getting better things, so you can go to different planets and get the science that you need. So once we're over this nice lovely crater, we can get a bit more science. It's kind of a dark grey kind of craterishness. It should count as over the crater. Let's have a look. Yeah, we're definitely over the crater. Let's just grab this science then and put it in the capsule. Yeah, over the northwest crater, I think it said there. Store that. Okay, back into the capsule. You're going to stay here, Jebediah, unfortunately. Sorry. I will be bringing you home soon. We need the science. And you, of course, Jebediah, we need to bring you back too. It's a different colour. Okay, it's a lot of writing. Oh yes, throttled up. Even though we don't have any fuel, I left it throttled up. Now we can go back to the space center and just leave him in orbit. Right, need to design a stage to bring us back. Next episode. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I'll see you next time.